Hello everybody, please don't mind my wet hair, I have just had a shower. It is day 22 in isolation, I believe. This is the start of week 4, which is potentially our last week. We're not sure, it's being announced next week. Anyway, later today I am going to do the grocery shopping, which is a video request that I've had from a couple of you guys, especially while we're in lockdown, to show you like what we're buying and what we're eating. So that is something that I will be filming later today, but I thought it might be a bit interesting also to show you what food is still in my house before we do the grocery shop. I say we, it's just me, because you're not allowed to go grocery shopping with more than one person right now. So it's just going to be me grocery shopping. I say we collectively as in like me and Jonathan. I just think it would be interesting to see what people have left in their house before they go shopping, because I'm sure some people would like completely use up all their food before they go out and buy more, but we never do. We have like things that don't need to be bought every week, things that we just didn't necessarily use, like staples and spares of things that don't get used up week to week. Yeah, and actually when I started like looking around my pantry and my fridge, there's a lot more food in there than I thought there would be at the end of the week. So I think it'll be interesting for me as well as you guys just to kind of take stock and see what's left. So let's start with the fridge, shall we? Let's see what is left in here. Just for reference, we haven't been shopping in 8 days. I think our last shop was just over a week ago. So this is a little overview of our fridge. Let's start with the door. So we have a tiny little bit of cheese still left in there. I will be buying a new cheese because that is not enough for a week. This is meant to be down here. Hang on, we'll get to that. We've got a bit of mayonnaise left. I've had this for a really long time. You can see it's going a bit gross. I really need to use that up very soon because it's not going to be good for much longer. The fridge is not going to cope with being open for too long, so I'm going to have to keep closing it. Anyway, down here in the door we have these, like, I don't know, would you call them spices? I guess so. Just because these are things that are really frustrating to have to chop up, like garlic. We hate chopping garlic, so to have a minced garlic ready to go makes dinners a lot easier. We also found a chili one and a ginger one. So those are all really useful. We put them in like most dinners, but they last, you know, a good month or two because they're pretty big pots, so we don't need to buy them every week. A little bit of sriracha, lemon juice for when, you know, I can't be bothered chopping up a lemon or juicing a lemon. I have dermatitis on my hands, so lemon juice really hurts me, so it's much easier to have it in a squeezy tube. A bit of yeast. Actually, we've had this for like a year, but we have almost used it up actually. We have a little bit of milk still left, not enough for the week, but enough for the rest of today. And a bit of almond milk. There's actually not a lot in there at all. Let's close it up again. Give it a moment to reset. Alright, and then in the main section of the fridge, let's start at the top. So we've got a tiny bit of plum jam left. That is, Jonathan likes that one, I haven't had it at all. And then this one was like a strawberry compote. I think there's maybe one more use in there. I don't know what Jonathan's been using it for, but again, that's him, not me. And this is a pretty pickle, which is kind of like a pickled chutney. Jonathan's mum makes it every year, so we got a little pot of that. It's really good. But we only got it at the start of the year, so that's probably going to last us quite a while. At the back here we have this dip, which we've had for a few weeks. It probably has got mold on it if I looked closely. It does, so I'm going to chuck that one out. Out it goes. Now this is lockdown food. We don't normally eat things out of a packet, but this is Thai red curry, which has 2 servings in it. We've had a couple of other soups that were in packets like that. They're really nice actually, but just normally we would buy things that don't have packaging and we would like make things from scratch. But because of the lockdown, we're getting a bit lazy. And then we have a loaf of bread. This one is Vogel's. On the middle shelf here, we've got some chorizo, which we're going to put in a pasta. A little bit of another loaf of bread. It's just because we like to have different breads for different types of things. Like I like this bread for chip sandwiches, which I've been having in lockdown, and I like that bread for toasting. At the back here we've got this SodaStream lemonade thing. We haven't done a soda stream in this year at all, but it's there for when we want to. This is a protein yogurt that Jonathan's been having. This is actually almost empty. The butter, oh well, it's not really butter. This is an olive oil spread, but we use this in place of butter, and this is actually almost empty as well. We normally don't have to replace that very often at all, but because we've been doing a bit of baking, it's getting a bit low. And then we have our shiitake mushrooms, which we're going to put in a ramen that we were going to make this week, but we actually had more meals than we needed for this week, so we will probably tonight, I don't know, tonight or tomorrow night maybe. Sorry, fridge. Okay, it's starting to get really upset at me actually. It's blasting cold air from the back now. Let's do this quickly. Okay, we've got some eggs up here. I bought like a second thing because I thought we would use them up quicker, but we didn't. And then over here we have last night's leftover dinner. It was basically the same thing that we're going to do with those chorizos. Pasta with chorizo and mixed veggie and a yummy sauce. So we'll probably have that tonight. Or maybe for lunch, don't know. And then in the veggie drawer we just have a tiny bit of spinach and a little bit of tomato left. And that is it. Let's close up the fridge because it's very upset. And let's move on to the freezer. So up the top we just have like ice and stuff. That's not interesting. In the top drawer I've got some frozen raspberries. Not a lot of those, less than half. And then it's frozen fruit. There's almost nothing in there actually. I put these in like smoothies and stuff. Got a bit of pesto. Oh, 2016. Yeah, but it's been frozen the whole time. So Jonathan's grandma would have made this, I think, back in 2016. And then when they moved out of their house, they like gave all of them out to various people that they know. So we got one. Everyone else will have got one as well. What else have we got? Some frozen mixed veggies, some more frozen mixed veggies in case we run out. That one's a frozen corn. That's almost empty actually. And then some dumplings. And then the second drawer, we've got a bread for when we run out of bread, a yummy ice cream. This one's almost gone. There's probably like 2 mouthfuls in there. And a plain ice cream for going with like crumble and stuff. Again, that one's almost gone, maybe like 1 serving left in there. Better close it for a second, hold on. Last drawer, let's do this. Oh, there's almost nothing in here. So we've got some cheese beef burger patties in here. This came with 8, and I think we probably used like 5 of them already. And then we've had this for so long, these chicken tenders, also for burgers. There's literally 1 left in there. Alright, fridge done. Let's move on to the pantry. Oh my gosh, there's so much food in here. Where do I even start? I start by turning the light on. Okay, now we can see it. So, up here, now these don't get replaced very often at all. We go through these very slowly. Although, I think I am actually buying a new olive oil in today's shop. So, olive oil. We've got a little bit left, but I think I'm going to buy a new one just in case today. Soy sauce. Yep, that one's looking pretty good. We've had that for a few months. Sesame oil, we don't use much of that at a time, so that will last quite a while. Worcestershire sauce, we almost never use that. White vinegar, again, almost never. And malt vinegar, I don't think we've actually ever used that. Anyway, moving around, we've got a couple of cup of soup packets, so each of these has 4 in it. I haven't opened the chicken one yet. I think I've had 2 out of the tomato. Some couscous. I literally think we've had that for a year, because I don't think we've eaten couscous in about a year. Some brown rice, although we have some more over there once it's all empty, so that's all good. That's empty. I think that's for white rice, but we don't really eat white rice. And then we've got a couple of salts, some tea bags. That's not for us, that's for when people come over. I have different tea, you'll see in a moment. Some powdered sugar and some chocolate sprinkles. Those are both from a Dutch shop. I think that's all the food for this row. And then we move down to the second row. This is where all our snack food normally goes, like our chips and our chocolate and our crackers. So you can see that's always gone by the end of the week. But we still have some yummy things. So the pasta sauce, that's going to go in our pasta with the chorizo. We had a different one for last night's meal. Couple of cans of spaghetti, and then we've got, this is my tea that I normally have, which is great, and I love it because it's caffeine free. And then this is a tea that I've had for ages, and it's not caffeine free, so I don't have it very often. But yeah, that exists. Milos, oh my gosh, I love Milos, and normally it's like a treat, like seriously a treat, but I've been having them just about every day while we've been on lockdown. And then these are what we use instead of stock cubes to kind of try and cut down on packaging, because it's one bigger thing that can be recycled, but you don't go through it very often at all. So we have a vegetable one, a chicken one, and a beef one. There's so much in here. Like, it's the size of my hand. We've had this for, seriously, a year, and we're not even like a third of the way through it. And also, you only need half the amount of this than you would with a stock cube. I don't know why, it must just be stronger. So you only need half a teaspoon where you would normally use 1 stock cube. I've got some oats. I could possibly do with some more soon. Probably not this shop though. And then the sad little collection of my baking ingredients. So I have, this is what is left of my gluten-free flour. That's maybe like half a cup. And then I discovered the other day that I have 2 cornflowers. We don't even use cornflour. This bag is almost full, and then this box is also almost full. That's where my regular flour normally goes, and I've got none. This is self-raising flour. There's maybe 2 cups in there. I could probably make something with that, honestly. Sugar is getting a bit low, but I don't need it this shop. Icing sugar is all good. That is my brown sugar, which is also getting a bit low. I might actually buy that this shop. At the back there we've got coconut flour, which I'm not sure about, but that is almost full. So I could probably use it for something. I'm not sure about the taste, I'm not sure about how it cooks. And then we have wholemeal flour, which Jonathan convinced me to use one time, and I really didn't like it. And then he used it the other day to make some cookies. So yeah, I don't know. I don't like the taste of it in anything, but we have it. And then our sad little amount of caster sugar in there. And some random bits and bobs in the corner here. I've got like a teaspoon left of vanilla. We've got some sprinkles, green and red food coloring, baking powder, baking soda. There's quite a bit left in both of those actually. What's in here? Oh, we've got cream of tartar, and then some writing, some like squeezy tube writing things. So writing icing and chocolate. So those are basically like chocolate icing writing things. And then gelatin at the back there that I don't think I've ever used, but maybe one day, you know, it's not going to go off, so it can just sit there. Oh, and then salt and pepper sit here as well, so yeah. Oh, actually I don't know if we have any more pepper. I think that might be it, so maybe we need some more pepper. Moving down to this row here. So next to the microwave, we've got this little box with all our spreads. So Nutella, I thought we would use up this week. Obviously we didn't, but it's all good because it means that I don't need to buy a new one this week because we've got a spare. A honey and a peanut butter. Oh, how much is in there? Not much. I'm going to get a new peanut butter this week. 2 little packets of noodles. I'll definitely try and find some more of that this week. And then in these boxes we keep all our spices. So I've kind of separated into sweet and savory. We'll give you a little run through. This isn't right. So what's cinnamon doing in the savory box? We've got cumin, tarragon, 2 bay leaves, fennel seeds, turmeric. Oh, that, I would say that's curry powder. Oh, another cinnamon. Okay, that should be in the other box. Chinese 5 spice, paprika, and oregano. Oh, and this one. Mustard powder. So those are our savory spices. And then for our sweet spices, we've got the 2 cinnamons, which we shouldn't have, but I think what happened was This is the old one. This was probably in the savory box, and I probably only looked in the sweet box and decided we didn't have cinnamon, so I went and got a new one. So anyway, we've got 2 cinnamons, cloves, more cloves, oops, yeah, but only one of them is open, so that's okay. Mixed spice, another mixed spice, but again, only one is open. Allspice, garam masala, that doesn't seem like a sweet spice. I'm gonna move that to savory. Nutmeg and marjoram, which, is that sweet? Yeah, that smells pretty sweet. Yeah, so those are our spices. And then in here we have got some breadcrumbs, which we don't use very often. I think we've had those for about a year as well. I just spilt them everywhere. Grr. Cocoa powder, I'll clean that up in a moment. We've got, hiding in the back here, some golden syrup and some wet food sachets for Evie. We keep them covered with this because she has on occasion found her way into the pantry, so if she smells them then she will go for them, and we're hoping that she can't move this because this is quite heavy, so she wouldn't be able to get in there. And then we've got our little pasta section over here. So we've got lasagna pasta, which we use, you know, when we have lasagna, which is not very often. So that packet is actually open, but it's just chilling. We've got our ramen for when we make that ramen with the shiitake mushrooms and stuff. Some risotto, which is also open because we used this for last night's dinner. No, we didn't. Why is this open? Oh, we must have used it for something. Anyway, we'll probably use that for the next pasta meal that we make. And then we've got some egg noodles, which we would chuck in like stir fries or something. And that is that shelf. And I think we're just about coming to an end. Over here on the bench, we have got some sesame seeds, which we like to sprinkle over like stir fries and stuff. Some almonds. I think these are plain almonds. And then in here we've chucked a mix of sunflower seeds and pumpkin seeds, which we're almost out of, but we're not really eating them very much at the moment. Normally up here we also have a little container of popcorn kernels because we like to make our own popcorn, but we ran out and then there were none at the shops last week, so I'm going to see if I can find them today. And then I think the last bit of food that we have is over here. This is like our fruit section. As you can see, we've eaten most of our fruit for the week because fruit doesn't really keep, so it's not something to kind of stash. But all we've got left now is 2 lonely little apples. So I will eat these probably today and tomorrow because they will not keep for much longer. And that is all of the food that we have left on the day of our grocery shop. So how does that compare to the amount of food that you have left at the end of your week of eating food? Do you have like nothing left in your house, or do you have about the same as me, or like food left but not this much? This is honestly, this is a lot of food still left. We probably don't need to go grocery shopping for like another 2 or 3 days because we've still got the leftover pasta. We've got a whole nother pasta we could make, which would probably do 2 nights. We have ramen, which is 2 nights. That's 5 days worth of food. And then we've got those cans of spaghetti. But we're kind of out of breakfast food and we're out of snack food. Oh, hello. How's your lectures going?
Very well.
Yeah? That's where my hoodie went. I was looking for that last night. But we've also been warned not to run out of food before you go shopping because things that you want might not be there. So especially at a time like this, we are shopping before we actually need to. So that was today's vlog, and I will be back tomorrow to show you the grocery haul that I'm about to do later today.